and foremost, Connor's healthier now, and he's got some legs underneath him. We've talked a lot about that over the last few days, so that makes anybody better. And Milan is connected well with them. They have a confidence. I think anytime those two veterans can bring a young player like Yessi along and have him perform the way he has, it's a good combination. It's one that we'll stick with, and for now anyhow. And a lot of that depends on how the rest of the team competes and how productive they are as well. But I like that line right now.
You're facing, obviously, a really skilled power play tonight. I think it's second in the league. Your PK, 11 of 13 in the last 4. What do you think has been the turnaround for it, and what are you expecting tonight?
Well, you're correct when you assess the power play for Nashville. They're dangerous, and they're dangerous in so many spots. Up top, they've got 6 or 8 goals from defensemen on their power play, which I'm sure leads the league. 9 from another guy over on the wing, and Forsberg. Smith's able to score. They have 2 units that can hammer away, and that's a big challenge for our group. The other part of the question is we've improved a little bit on the penalty kill. The confidence is starting to come back a bit. We're still challenged at times, but we're not giving up the free open net look. Teams have to work for their opportunities against us, where earlier when we made a mistake, it was a wide open layup, and nobody could do anything about it. So we've improved in those areas. We will get tested tonight. I'm a believer that we shouldn't get tested a lot, though. We don't want to be marching to the penalty box. There's a big turnaround there over the last 3 or 4 games, too, where we're beginning to draw penalties versus taking them, and that also helps.
Todd, a lot of teams that get to the final 1 year drop back. They say, oh, this is just a one-time thing, but obviously Nashville has not. You've coached lots of games against Nashville. What makes this edition better than some of the ones that you've coached against in the past?
Well, in my opinion, doing the pre-scout and watching this team play, right now they're firing on all cylinders, and I would consider them a top team in the NHL. Power play, penalty kill, goaltending, goals for, goals against, production from the blue line, the ability to play fast, the ability to play physical. All of the elements that are needed to be an elite team are firing right now for Nashville, and I think that goes into the way they've been patient with their team, allowed some younger players to evolve. They've had the coach there for a while now, and they believe in the system. Tremendous goaltending when they need it. They're a great team, and for us right now, that'll be a tremendous test. We're obviously looking up at them. We know where they went in the playoffs last year, how close they came to winning their first cup. And I think they've come back with we're going to show the world type attitude that it wasn't a fluke, and they've been productive from. I think they lost their first 2 games, and since then they've only given up points in five nights for the rest of the season.
This past 3-game stretch, is that the best stretch of hockey this team's produced so far this year, and if so, why?
I think that's fair to say, and why. We got drilled here against Philly. We didn't play an exceptionally emotional or hard game, and maybe that was finally the slap that we needed to get our group going. Tonight will be another one of those tests, but we go into Montreal and there's a lot of energy and emotion. Perhaps Montreal brought it out of us, the city, Hockey Night in Canada. Toronto, the same thing said in back-to-back games. And then a pretty good effort in Columbus. So all of those things come together. We talked about the penalty kill and the power play, the difference that those 2 units had in those games. Granted, we didn't score in Toronto. We were dangerous. We had many opportunities. So the confidence level went up there. And just overall better, consistent play from 20 players.
Your 5-on-5 play, Todd, especially offensively, has been pretty good this season. But defensively now, you've only allowed 8 goals in 4 games, and I think that's only the second time of a 4-game stretch all year for your group. Collectively, what is your team specifically doing better? Is it in the neutral zone? Is it the defensive zone, turnovers? Where is the change coming that, A, you're leaking fewer shots and obviously fewer goals against?
Well, this may sound strange. I would say our forecheck. We've got pucks behind teams that have mobile sets of defensemen, and we've been able to forecheck and keep the offensive time alive. And it may not seem like a big factor, but when the opposition has to spend the first 20 or 25 seconds of their shift in the offensive zone, they don't have a lot of energy to get through the neutral zone and back into the defensive zone, or the offensive zone for them. So in my opinion, that's helped us defend, actually going after loose pucks in the offensive zone, keeping plays alive, and that's prevented minutes in our zone. Not significant. If you look at O-zone time, it's not dramatic or significant, but the energy level that the other team has to make and sustain good plays drops dramatically when you keep them in their zone for a little while.
Todd, what's different about Jujar's game recently, and what were some of the things that you asked of him this season?
Well, his confidence level is higher, and that comes from a number of different things. And it isn't any higher now than it was after exhibition season because he had a tremendous training camp. But as he entered the season, I don't know if he took it for granted, but he didn't have the puck a lot. He didn't create turnovers. He wasn't using his body or his size. Now he is. So I've answered the second part of the question there. And as a result, his teammates have more confidence in him, and he feels that. And we keep bumping him up the lineup. We give him a little sniff on the power play. He's been productive. The other night, and watching the chances, he could have left that building with 3 or 4 points. He had a 2-on-0 with Connor. He had 2 great rebound opportunities, net front open nets that he almost missed. So he's around the chances a lot right now, which he wasn't early in the season.
Laurent Brossoit has started 6 straight games. The first 3, I think there was 13 goals against. The last 3, only 5. Is it simply him just getting comfortable, or what do you see as being the difference?
Well, him getting more comfortable, him getting in a rhythm, him feeling more confident. There's less talk about it now, so the pressure on him has diminished media-wise, and in the hockey world, he's just a goaltender now that comes and plays every game. And the answer about defending and being better defensively, penalty kill going up, has helped him feel more confident as well. So team in front of him as well.
Todd, when it comes to Jesse Puljujarvi, what did he figure out at his time in the American Hockey League that he's doing now and being successful here?
Well, I've answered this question a lot lately too. When Jesse came in, his success was often loading up the big shot, taking it and just powering it past young goaltenders and young D-men. He was a man-child at that time where he could hold people off, but that was at the junior level. And I think it took him a good chunk of time to learn that doesn't just work here. You got to do some other things in the game. And he's learned that. His English is much better now, so he understands some concepts. But he's been way more involved without the shot, the rebounds, the tip-ins, the deflections, keeping plays alive, defending better. He's just a better player, and that happens when you go from 18 to 19, and you start to figure some things out.